Hi everyone! I am back with a video, or actually a series of videos, and I know it's been a while since my last upload, but things have just kind of been crazy with Christmas and New Year's and job and all of that stuff. I'm still hoping to get a few different videos up, but I wanted to try and get this stuff done before it got too far into the new year. So these are my top 100 songs for the last year, and this is something I've done over on my Instagram for the past 2 years. I figured since I'm kind of trying to do something a little bit more with YouTube now too, I would kind of cross-post my top 100 there. To get the fun stuff out of the way, as a disclaimer, this is just my list. It's my favorites from the past year. That doesn't mean that because a song isn't in my top 100, it means I disliked it. It's actually usually a really challenging process for me to cut down to a top 100. I genuinely list out almost every K-pop girl group or soloist song that has come out in the past year in one giant spreadsheet, and then by the end of the year, I start to cut through that list and whittle it down to the things I clearly like, things I clearly disliked, and then from that like pile, I go further and further and further. Long story short, just because something isn't in my top 100 doesn't mean I didn't like it. Try not to get too upset over how I ranked things. So I typically limit this to girl groups or female soloists, and that means groups like Card or Checkmate or duets like JYP and Sunmi don't get added to the list. I do allow if there was like a male feature, but it's not like a really predominant piece of the song. And then the second thing is that I try to limit it to Korean releases only, or Korean language releases only. So in the past, if it was in English or Japanese, the song got cut. This year there were a few exceptions to that because there were some songs that were in English but were like technically part of a Korean release that weren't given necessarily like English only promotions or something. I think that's all. Those are the only things. No one's really gonna care. These are like superfluous rules I make for myself. So that's it. That was like 5 minutes of rambling. I'll move on to what you guys probably don't even care that much about, but I hope you're still here and interested. I'm also gonna make a playlist of my top 100, so you guys can check that out. I will link it somewhere. But yeah, so let's get started. Number 100, Lip Gloss by Som. Som is the re-debut for 3 members of Neon Punch, a group that really never had a chance to shine, but they had some great songs. And I hope I'm pronouncing their new group name. I did look it up, but I don't know, it could be wrong. So Lip Gloss is the B-side to their debut track, and I personally found it a bit more addictive than their debut. It lands just on the right side of that obnoxious sort of like 2015, 2016, maybe Hyuna or like 4-minute, I don't know, that kind of sound. It's very much like that type of energy, and I just found it really fun. There's a lot going on, and I can see that maybe some people wouldn't like it, but I would definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't given their B-side a chance. Lip Gloss had a super catchy chorus, and the whole song was just a lot of fun. 99, Nobody Knows by Daya. Despite MBK's odd handling of this pseudo subunit promotion, and in my opinion a sort of forgettable title track and comeback in general, Nobody Knows is a standout track on the Flower Four Seasons album. The chorus has a really nice hook and everyone's voice really stands out here. Well, it seems like Somni is no longer in Daya, despite MBK still not really saying anything. As a Daya full group collector, I'm really hoping that we'll get at least one more comeback with the 6 remaining members in 2021. Nobody Knows, though, has a really nice rainy day, warm, slightly sad feeling. I'm not sure exactly how best to describe it. Their live stages really created a great ambiance around it. 98, Helicopter by CLC. I really disliked this song when it came out. I felt like it sounded like a 2012 dance movie soundtrack song and found the English bits kind of cringy. And just to be clear, not like the way they pronounce English, I don't nitpick that type of stuff. I just found the English used to be cringy. Like, Who still says hello? That said, over the past few months, I found myself humming the pre-chorus a lot, and the song and chorus in general just have a good energy. As a result, it just kind of grew on me, and now I like it enough to put it in my top 100. 97, We Ride by Brave Girls. Of all the vintage city pop-esque songs we got this year, We Ride was definitely one of my favorites. It's a happy, easy to listen to bop, and it just has that good, chill, but energetic vibe. And in a full year of retro-inspired songs, We Ride, I think, kind of slipped through the cracks for a lot of people, but it definitely does the retro city pop vibe justice and deserves more love. 96, Pretty by ITZY. ITZY is good at everything, but they've really nailed their energetic yet elegant title tracks and cutesy yet endearing B-sides. I have a lot of ITZY in my top 100, and Pretty is just the start. This song is so wholesome and so wonderfully cute. I just love the odd little flute thing running throughout the song. I feel like some of their more cutesy voices, like Nako and Hitomi, really get a chance to shine, and the performances for this song were just a lot of fun in general. 95, Black Mamba, aespa. Black Mamba is a solid debut, and I really like elements of this song. It doesn't rank super high for me because it felt a little flat after a few listens. For example, I wish they'd done something different with the chorus before the bridge or the final chorus to make it feel a bit more significant. But it definitely got me interested in aespa, and I'm really excited to see what they do next year. 94, Nunu Nana Jessie. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think there's anything super inventive about Nunu Nana, but it's a fun song. It's unapologetic and confident and just a good time. 93, From Me, GFRIEND. There's something really warm and comforting about this song, even before knowing the lyrics. I obviously have to rely on English translations, so assuming the ones I've read are actually correct, it makes sense that this song feels so reassuring. It's about learning to be kind to yourself instead of just being upset with yourself when you believe you're falling short in some way. I really enjoyed the musical development of the track and how the music changes from being a more pared down acoustic sound in the beginning to the fuller accompaniment as the song progresses. It's so soft and warm in the beginning and maintains that rosy, warm feeling even as it grows into something much fuller and much more emotional. It's a really lovely B-side and one of my favorites from GFRIEND this year. 92, Feel Good, Fromis 9. Feel Good was a solid comeback and had a really refreshing energy to it. I still felt like it was missing a little bit of something to really hook me and get it placed higher on my favorite songs of 2020, but overall was really happy to see Fromis back. 91, Cut Me Off, BoA. This song creates a really strong atmosphere the second it starts. I love the repetitive driving energy that this song has with BoA's smooth, almost lackadaisical sound of singing in this song. It's a really great B-side, and I highly recommend checking it out if you have not already. 90, You Make Me by ITZY. You Make Me is one of those songs that just kind of sticks in your head, and the way they emphasize speechless by like having music cut out under it or just giving it that like moment of emphasis just really makes it stick, and it's just really well done in my opinion. They kind of had the same sound when they did Cherry. There's something a little bit maybe more heavy about these certain songs that they do, and You Make Me and Cherry I think kind of have that same feel to them. 89, Maria by HAWAS. So I think this is going to be a song that people are surprised isn't higher up on my list. And admittedly, a little bit sort of like Helicopter, it just was a little one note to me when I first listened to it. But over time, I did come to really enjoy the song, and I find HAWAS's kind of chill way of singing these more like evocative songs to be really enjoyable. It still doesn't beat Twit for me. I loved Twit, but it was a solid track and definitely ended up becoming one that I found myself humming unintentionally or like meme singing because the Maria Maria part is just fun. So, yeah. 88, So What, Luna. This might be a little controversial after my Luna tier ranking video, because I kind of roasted So What a little bit. And I still do generally feel like So What as a whole, that whole era and the album and everything, is one of their weaker eras. But I did really love this song when it came out, and it had a lot of impact right away. And even though that kind of wore off as the year went on, as I was preparing my list, I found myself enjoying So What a bit more again. I kind of had that remembrance of how much fun I did have when the song came out, and especially in retrospect, that power that they have in this song and that energy was so different from Why Not and Voice/Star that it does bring something special to the Luna discography, at least. And I think this is just one of those songs that I have to be in the right mood for, and maybe I just wasn't in the right mood for it for most of the year, but I liked it a lot more in this past month and found myself playing it a lot again. 87, Say My Name, ANS. Say My Name was a lot of fun, and I think a little bit similar to So What. I really loved this song when it came out. I didn't listen to it a ton throughout the year past, I think, the first month of really enjoying it, but in prepping for this and going through all of my songs again, re-listening to it, I loved it. I'm honestly still kind of confused as to what's happening with them right now. Last I had heard they were disbanding, but then I heard their contracts weren't being released or something kind of messy, so I think all the girls are still with their agency, but we haven't had any music since Say My Name, and that's a shame. It was a good song. 86, lyricist HAZE. This song has a very clear, jazzy feel to it, and I love HAZE's voice on songs like this. This one just made me want to sit in a cafe and pretend that I was like writing and enjoy being surrounded by like coffee shop sounds or like people in general, which was not a thing to do this year, but this song just had that very clear atmosphere that it creates, and that's something I really love in songs. It was by far one of my favorite HAZE songs this year, but that whole album was actually quite good in general.